So yeah, yeah.
Okay, so fan question
Okay.
for you. For you?
Yeah, I think it's for me from Julie. Oh, from Jules.
Julie 13. Yes. Okay, so Celia, was it hard developing and playing Frankie as someone who hasn't experienced being adopted?
Yes. Yeah. It was for a very long time until actually I met you and you explained to me, like, it's not a monolith. It's not one thing. It's many things. And you exploring those is doing it justice. And that took a huge weight off me, because the creative team that we have it's very white. We have an incredibly white creative team. And so I don't think I ever had an opportunity to go to a member of the creative team and say, hey, from your experience, not from what you've learned, but from your lived experience, what else can I do? How else can I inform myself? And that's why I'm so grateful for the Broadway production. They incorporated people who have lived the experience so they can properly educate a group of people, because we're only here to learn, but in order to learn, we have to bring in the right people to teach. And so once I shed the expectation that I have to get it right and that I have to get it perfectly, and that transracial adoptees, it can be written out like a script and that will inform every decision that I make. As soon as I recognize that that is not the case, and that's an extremely unfair standard to hold to myself, it became a lot easier. And I actually sort of deepened into Frankie, because there is so much that she doesn't know about her experience.
Right. And
with that, it allows me to go into the situation with a certain level of unknown, because that's exactly this. It's a similar level that Frankie would have. Yeah. So in the beginning, it was very hard, because I had a lot of misconceptions about what transracial adoption is and what it means and how the experience follows through. But once I learned from the proper people and I found the perfect resources, it became a lot wider. The horizon widened, and it made it a lot easier for me.
Yeah. You did so much research and reading different books, and I think I sent you a couple articles just to get perspectives of other adopted people, not just myself. And I think the biggest thread, though, is it as an actress, like how do you portray someone who basically, one of the things with being adopted is just you live a life of unknowns. You just have questions all the time. Where did I come from? Why was I adopted? How did I end up here? And to be able, that's one of the universal experiences of being adopted, but then you layer that with race, you layer that with a feeling of needing to show your parents that you're grateful for the life they've given you. You layer that with, for you being a teenager, layer that with like queer, it's just, and then you just pile things on.
And that unknown is something that as an actor, I had to become very comfortable with, because as humans, the idea of an unknown is scary. Right. It's very scary stepping into a situation and saying, I don't know what the outcome is, but I trust it in its fullness, and I'm ready to accept whatever comes of it. That takes a lot from a person. And once I felt safe in doing that, that was when Frankie really blossomed for me. And that feeling of unknown, although I will never fully understand Frankie's unknown, I have unknowns in my life that, like my father, he passed when I was 1, so I never really knew him. And so that unknown of like, what was he like? Half of me is this person that I never got to meet. Who, like, I have all of the, but I was lucky enough to have his family. Frankie doesn't really have hers.
Right.
And so there
you have other people who can speak about him and his traits and his qualities and things that you got from him. Whereas, being an adoptee,
there's none of that. And even with the family that she has, Frankie absolutely can't ask about that, because her family doesn't know, and they're actively trying to not talk about it. And so